let me begin my opening speech in English, and then we will get into the presentation in English, I guess, but then the discussion will be in Basque. So the PowerPoint will be in English, and then the discussion will be in Basque. Vice Rector, and the presenters, audience, all respected audience, and everybody who are here in this room. This morning we will begin on tradition. That is to invite those who have graduated from doctoral program to present what they have done during their study, so that we will have an idea of what all those who had just returned from their study is done. This is, as we will begin this tradition starting from today, and then those who will be coming later will be given the same opportunity. So today we will hear the presentations in the form of panel presentation. First from Dr. Hana, followed by Dr. Elisa, and then Dr. Sami Ulu, and then Dharmawati, and then Dr. Gideon. In the form of panel presentation of what their research is about for their PhD program. As I said, we welcome this opportunity because we'll have fresh idea of what they have done to get their doctoral degree. So I hope that you participants take an active part in the discussion. The presentation or the PowerPoint presentation will be English, but the discussion will be in Bahasa Indonesia, so that everybody can take an active part in the discussion. But if you are confident enough of your English, then feel free to speak English, and the presenters here will be very happy to discuss things in English. So you may choose. If you are not confident yet in English, then use a language, whatever language it is, then you are confident of. So which one you prefer? It can be in English, it can be in Bahasa Indonesia. But the PowerPoint will be in English, and then the discussion will be followed. The discussion will follow in the form of many bilingual presentation. We hope that events like this will be done, will exist later on. So starting from today and in the days to come, those who have graduated from the S3, from the doctoral program, will be given an opportunity to present their research so that we know what they have done to get their PhD program. Jadi, Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, hari ini kita memulai sebuah tradisi di mana teman-teman yang baru saja pulang dari pendidikan S3 diberi kesempatan untuk menyampaikan kepada kita apa yang mereka kerjakan, penelitian apa yang mereka lakukan untuk memperoleh gelar doktor atau PhD. Pada kesempatan yang akan datang, mereka yang menyelesaikan studinya pada bidang tingkat doktoral juga akan diberi kesempatan yang sama. Jadi dengan demikian terbuka kesempatan kepada kita, bagi kita yang sudah duluan atau bagi mereka yang baru akan memulai mendapatkan ide segar dari teman-teman yang baru saja menyelesaikan. Bagi yang sudah tua juga mendapat tambahan ilmu pengajaran, dan bagi yang baru akan mulai juga mendapatkan ide baru ke arah studi yang lebih baik di masa yang akan datang. Pimpinan Universitas saya mengharapkan mudah-mudahan kelima teman kita yang baru saja selesai, 4 dari Newcastle, 1 dari Liverpool ya, Liverpool sambil nonton bola di sana, akan menyampaikan hasil penelitian mereka kepada kita semua, dan harapan saya tidak bisa menyimak, dan paling penting adalah ikut berdiskusi tentang apa yang mereka kerjakan. Karena ketika saya mengikuti ketika saya mengunjungi mereka di Newcastle sekian tahun yang lalu, masih bersama dengan almarhum Pak Sahrudin pada itu, dan saya sempat langsung masuk ke ranah penelitian. Pak Elis, ada 2 atau 3 kalau saya tidak salah yang saya sempat amati. Saya katakan, kalau ilmu ini bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu kembangkan nanti kalau pulang ke Bali, luar biasa. Hanya satu pertanyaan saya pada itu, apakah ada lab? Apakah ada lab yang canggih yang bisa berdiri? Jadi mungkin itu tantangan kita sebentar. Mereka memiliki ilmunya, tinggal penunjangnya ini yang akan menjadi tantangan kita. Itu yang akan kita tanamkan. Dan paling tidak mereka akan menyampaikan kepada kita bahwa ini yang kita sudah miliki sekarang, dan ini yang nampaknya perlu diadakan. Kita adakan tahap demi tahap, sedikit demi sedikit. Mudah-mudahan nanti apa yang mereka timbang di tempat mereka sendiri bisa diterapkan di tempat ini. Mungkin tidak 100%, tapi ada yang tidak bisa dapat manfaat dari hasil seperti mereka di luar negeri. Jadi bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu sekalian yang saya hormati, dengan tidak berpanjang waktu, saya akan mengakhiri sambutan ini atas nama rektor, dan saya mohon maaf juga karena saya akan meninggalkan tempat ini karena ada ujian yang sedang menunggu di FP sana, sehingga pertemuan saya sampaikan lebih dan banyak mohon dimaafkan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Today is going to present what he's been doing for 5 years in Newcastle University. Just big applause, and we welcome Dr. Anand Mohamed to present his research advice today in the front of us. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to say thank you to Tadulaka University who gave me the opportunity to present my research program during my PhD. So, according to Pak Mahfud and Pak Hasan Basri, this is the first time for Tadulaka to present something like this for better academic atmosphere in Tadulaka University. So I'm so happy for this one. Maybe I will speak in Bahasa Indonesia better for me and for all of us. My research berjudul Investigation of the Conductive Behavior of Polyethylene Dioxyethylene conductive polymer. Polimer ini yang sangat konduktif, yang blend dengan polyelectrolyte. Jadi polimer dan polimer. Fungsinya untuk organik elektronik atau aplikasi yang lain. Pertama bagi saya, jadi Kebetulan saya kuliah di Newcastle University, biasa di New itu dari kata Newcastle sebenarnya. Kalau Brisbane itu Brisbane, ya. Kalau Melbourne itu angkatan pertama atau batch 1 beasiswa di luar negeri. Kami dari Tadulako University ada Elisa, beberapa teman almarhum ya, kan ke arah kejadian kecelakaan di Newcastle. Pagi ini saya mengajak teman-teman untuk teman kita ini. Polri adalah dan Polri Stadion Surfana atau PSS. Jadi ini struktur yang saya sintesis selama, semoga Bapak Ibu juga bisa mengikutinya walaupun tidak belajar kimia. Dan Polri warnanya hitam. Jadi karena warnanya hitam maka susah sekali dianalisis dengan berbagai instrumen, dengan NMR, dengan infrared, dengan UV, itu sangat susah sekali. Hampir semua jurnal internasional mengatakan bahwa senyawa ini susah dianalisis, tapi menganalisis mengkarakterisasinya juga. Ini senyawa yang polimer yang atas pidot sendiri itu adalah polimer yang sangat konduktif, ya, jadi bisa menghantarkan listrik, Makanya dalam tujuan sintesis ini bagaimana senyawa ini bisa menggantikan metal atau logam, intinya ke arah sana. Nah kemudian pidot itu tidak larut di dalam air maupun di dalam pelarut organik seperti ether, alkohol dan sebagainya. Makanya dibutuhkan PSS, itu polimer lain yang bisa doping, yang bisa berikatan bersama sehingga kedua senyawa ini bisa larut di dalam air. Ya, ini tujuannya kita OPED, solar cell, kemudian untuk isian dari baterai, superkapasitor untuk anti corrosion dan sebagainya. Jadi ini beberapa aplikasi yang sudah diterapkan, termasuk untuk sistem radar. Ini menggunakan pidot sebagai pengganti dari metal. Materi ini sebenarnya secara komersial dijual belikan dan sangat mahal. Maka tujuan saya mensintesis adalah mengkomparasikan atau membawa Jerman atau benchmark. Kemudian memodifikasi strukturnya dan juga bagaimana mengaplikasikan. Nah ini karena kita bicara tentang konduktif polimer, maka konduktivitas suatu polimer itu harus kita ukur. Nah ini alat yang biasa kita pakai dan kebetulan teman-teman yang fisika ini point proof di sini. Ini tampilannya. Jadi satu film ukuran 12-15 mm itu kita ukur sampai beberapa kali untuk mencari akurasi dari pengukuran. Dan secara statistik, kalau saya mensintesis atau membuat film itu dengan kecepatan 1000 rpm, 1000 rotasi per menit, ternyata ketebalannya itu sekitar 500-600 ya, dengan konduktivitas yang rendah. Tapi errornya di sini tinggi sekali gitu. Jadi ketebalan itu bervariasi. Oleh karena itu saya dari 1000 rpm sampai 5000 rpm. Nah, konsistensi itu kita dapatkan pada saat spin coating atau pembuatan film itu berada pada 4000-5000 dan 5000 itu presisitasnya paling tinggi dan konduktivitasnya juga paling tinggi. Tebal, semakin tebal pidot PSS maka absorbansi dari senyawa itu kelihatan makin tinggi di sini. Puncaknya. Di sini dari 1000 ke 5000 kita lihat bahwa linearitas dari statistik SPSS kita lihat linearitasnya ada ke 5000 itu akan menjadi sangat linear ya, mendekati 1 boleh dikatakan seperti itu. Dan ini tampilan dari korespondensi. Jadi menggunakan capillary electrophoresis ini adalah suatu universitas lain kita join. Semoga hal seperti ini bisa kita budayakan. Jadi ada kolaborasi.
Learn how to use English in the academic environment. Please welcome Dr. Elisa Zesa. Your time will be for the maximum of 20 minutes. Thank you.
From Newcastle University, saya Anak Wahid. what I want to present today is the organic photovoltaics that Anang White already said before about we need the energy. We need electricity, power our buildings, power the industrial. Here it's not very strong enough to point there, but you can see here how the electricity we need in our life. We need electricity to run our industry, using it in the commercial, like in shopping center, they use many months of electricity power. And then our residential at home, we use it. Most of our instrument or something like that, or equipment using electricity. So in our home, we use electricity, and for in power plant as well, we use it. And then the main or primary energy source we use is produce electricity is from oil, nuclear power, coal, and then the renewable and energy source sounds like wind. Can be on this side is geothermal, something like that, and hydro power. So it is renewable. It's something like absorb. It's a physics, and I am in physics. So our displays absorb the light. So that's the problem here. So this is around 28 to 35 terawatt. So what terawatt means is maybe most of you from science are here. I think here. So tera means 10 power 12. 10 power 12. Sejuta. Yeah, something like that. So it's very big or very huge energy needs into 2050. But now it's around 18 terawatt in 2013 last year. And then you can see here the peak of the source we have is it will be come to the peak around 2020. So then have the source like oil, coal, natural gas. It will end and it will come to the peak in 2020. So after that, going to decline. The oil will be less than before, something like that. So that's why there's the decline of energy. In a year, around 1.10 power times 10 power, and then if we compare in 2011, the energy given, something like that. Energy, so we use the way to collect the energy, and then how the energy is hit the water to a pipe to power the electricity. So here's our place, but this is not my research. But you can see here where people already use it. So here probably if you using a lens and put it on the paper and direct it to the sun, the paper will burn because of the power. It's the pointed focus, yet the light energy. So many times here, and then I think this is very, as I said before, is very potential in our place to have this kind of. What in my research is I'm using a photovoltaic cell. So actually, there's a, but what I present here is in my thesis as well. But I focus on photovoltaic cells. So here's how the photovoltaic cell works. So if you have the lights come to your device, here is explain about the silicon solar cells. So if you come to the surface, the energy will be absorbed by the electron or by the whatever inside the photovoltaic, and then there is excitation of electron come out. So that's the excitation of electron and come out to the circuit that's electricity. So electron going through the circuit in a time, that is current. So the current is used in our we have here, or what we have to power this thing. So you can see here, maybe this is in Germany. So they use most of the houses using their solar panel in their rooftop. Here down as well, you can see it's very. It's good to hear. It's good to hear how they use to collect the energy from the sun and then turn it into the electricity. They make this in our bag or in our tent or in our car. So and so you can. This is kind of how the photovoltaic cells used in our life. So you can power your handphone using the light. Not only from the sun, but common light, because the light is mostly from the sun, but in the daytime, you can put it here, and then that's the lights can changing into the electricity. And why is the organic photovoltaics can be used? You know, organic photovoltaics come from the conductive polymer, as my friend said before. Conductive polymer. Polymer is a plastic. Polymer is a plastic. A type of plastic can be said like that. And then plastic is actually is insulator. The current is not going through. But this kind of things, some of certain material, organic material, can produce electricity. So we can have something like a solar cell from there. So that says you can see this is type what we call the source or donor is we use PTH3 and many things, and then the acceptor is using PCBM or what we call full array. And then these people there is the inventor of this kind of polymer, and they got the Nobel Prize in 2000 in chemistry. Actually, starting from chemistry. So this is we're talking about organic materials in chemistry. But me as a physicist, we use it for building our photovoltaic cells. So in our research, we're there are two types of mixing or active layer of our device using nanoparticulate, that's water-based. So Sarul and Nakamati will talk about that. And there is a called bulk heterojunction. Bulk means huge, but and heterojunction means something different type of material mixing. So that's the means of bulk heterojunction. So in huge, and then why organic photovoltaic? Why is not silicon? We introduce here organic photovoltaic cells because it's cheap to produce actually. But now still, if you going to Newcastle as before introducing that, how can we have some instruments like in Newcastle to produce that kind of things? It's very expensive actually, but compared to silicon, it's cheap, easy to fabricate. Later I will tell you how easy it is, and flexible because we can bend it. Silicon is quite harder, so if you bend it, it's broken, easy to broken. So organic photovoltaic is flexible and it's not heavy. And then it's what we call environmental friendly or green product. But there is different. This is not good in some case, like low efficiency, still low efficiency compared to silicon. And then the lifetime is short. It's quick to do that. And then, so what the structure is like this. There is a substrate. So substrate is using glass, and then there on substrate there is a ITO or indium tin oxide that is conductive, something like we can use PEDOT as well, but here we mix with PEDOT that I'm talking about before. And then in after the PEDOT, we put the active layer that mixing of the organic photovoltaic that organic material that I talking before. And then, as I say, what this device works? So the device works come from first is absorb the light, and then after absorbing the light, the energy is transferred to the material inside. And there is an excitation of material, electron, and then the positive charge to the different way. So, and then after that, we transfer the current, so going outside. And the last thing is collect the energy or collect the vertical line is current, and then horizontal is voltage. I have the equation related to the circuit I have. And then from here, what this curve tells us about is things. So there is, I have to explain it, but this is the output, and then the main point there is a serial resistance. There is a serial resistance and shunt resistance related. So that's it. And then there are two types of the output. One is what we call normal shape or G shape, because the shape is like a J. So this we call J shape emitter. So I can model using this. You can see there 4 type of model, electrical model, DL, or this kind of emitter. So what we call S-shape emitter. People already have some researchers as well using the model to model the output. It's working. The conclusion. So one diode model, 2 diode model is good for ideal shape or J shape, but they are so, and then working. So it's got excellent correlation. Yeah. And then from there we can tell what's happening. I think that's all about my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
To the third presenter, which is Dr. Syahrul Ulum. He graduated from Newcastle University as well last year and is going to present his
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for coming to see our presentation. I'm Shahrul. So I did my PhD in Agriculture Australia, and this is my thesis title. So the title of my thesis is Improving Particle Organic Photovoltaic Device. We will talk about this one later. Actually, at least already. In the future, or start from now, it's going to become organic material. So this is why we have to use the organic material, because we know organic material is like plastic. It is cheap and easy to fabricate because we can find anywhere on plastic. So we can use that one to fabricate electronic instruments. So the reason why we use organic material is because it's cheap and easy to fabricate, and then it is a solution process. So we can use like paint or like a paint, something like that, and to fabricate electronic instrument. And then because it is a solution, so you can paint the material on the plastic or glass or flexible substrate, like you can see the picture here. You can see on the right side OLED or organic light-emitting diode, and then the left side is OLED. You can see here that we can make a device, even small devices, but we have a big display. Like you can see, here. Actually, this on the corner, the right corner, it is like a roll display. So we can pull the roll, and then we can see display. And this one is using a OLED or organic light emitting diode, and because it is flexible and light, so we can use it for like our and so there is a video here. So this will still board of touch screen device. Then organic photovoltaic we use organic solvent, which is toxic for our environment. So we can't use this one in air because it's toxic for human being. So what I do in my research is I make nanopart organic photovoltaic device. So this kind of organic photovoltaic, but the efficiency they got just about 0.4%. So then I started to make faster. I can get 3.3% for nanoparticle device, which is the highest.
Well, thank you very much. The sophisticated technology not always practical. Don't worry about it. We'll just move to the fourth presenter. The only ladies we have here today. Dr. Danawati, it's your time.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I'm also graduated from Naglaku University, Newcastle University. So today I will talk about my research. So the title is Fabrication High Performance Nanoparticulate Organic and Organic Solar Cell and the Printing. So I divided my talk today into 4 parts. The first one is introduction, nanotechnology. What is nanotechnology? So nanotechnology is the science to manipulate measure at the nanoscale. So the science is very small, about 100,000 the weight of human hair. Jadi seperti 100.000 kali dari kita punya rambut kecilnya. Jadi itu. Jadi kenapa kami? So why do we interested to make a device from this kind of particle? Because they are small, means real low cost, right? So it's the transistor. The first one is the transistor, and the second one is a fundamental building block of the modern electronic device. So almost all of the electronic device use transistor, but it's still relatively expensive because using a silicon. And now we will develop a transistor using organic material, which are much more low cost and environmental friendly. Okay? So this device. So how is the organic transistor work? The source and drain, and by giving the gate voltage. So the anion in the interface layer, in the PVT layer will be fused into the active layer, and after that the active layer will increase the conductivity of the channel. So if you see the IV characteristics there, the more gate voltage you give, the more current you get. Alright, next please. So why do we make this kind of device? So it is for biosensor application. Do you know how many people have diabetes in the world? This is one of the example for the application of this device. There are 382 million people have this diabetes in 2013. And it is expected to be raised until 572 million people in and Bunda, yeah, if this is the number of the glucose in your saliva and in your blood, and we have the linear relationship between the so if you see this graph, we can see that when we apply the saliva and the blood, we can see the linear. So in the picture, you then look to start yourself to see your saliva concentration. This is the reason why we use this the kind of device. Next, please. And as I mentioned before, I also make organic solar cell. I don't need to explain this again because it has been explained by Molly and Lisa. So actually, in our group, we are making solar cell, but everyone has different place. So you can determine where you want to place your pattern. You don't need, you just draw in your computer and then print it. And you can very easy to print many patterns. It is different with the spin coat method. So Elisa Sarul using the spin coat method. If you spin the solution on the surface, you just you will coat the whole of surface, the whole of the surface. Actually, you don't need you don't need the whole thing. You have to wipe it. You have to clean it. So it will waste the material, waste the energy, waste the water. So this is the reason. So another reason is so you can print it in scale length. So because this is a low temperature, you can print it on the flexible substrate. It's like plastic, you can print it on the paper. So you can make your solar cell on the plastic, on the paper, on everything. Okay. So and then this environmental friendly because so this is conducting polymer, so what Anna made. So we print it and then we go the cell like that. And I can print this a lot of devices in less than 1 hour. Next, please. So the objective of my research is I will print two different devices. This is organic transistor band and organic photovoltaic. So I print each layers and then we will get the characterization. But I need to do lots of working well. Next, please. So in this research, I use two kinds of nanoparticle. The first is made by using mini-emulsion method, which is just Sarul explained. And the second one is precipitation method. And next, please. So as I mentioned before, that I also do characterization for the nanoparticle. So even though Sarul, I finished this talk, in this moment, I would like to introduce our new center. So we just have made a new center in our university called the Center for Organic Electronics. This center built with the collaboration between the University of Newcastle and the Tadulako University. So why do we make this? Next, please. in biotechnology and in information technology. Next, please. So,
Thank you, Purnama. Then we have here the 4 important projects related to the electricity problem. Let's support the center that they want to build in our university. You understand the instrument must be very, very expensive. At least we know that Dr. Gideon Tualo is not related from Newcastle University, but from Liverpool University.
Proposed my PhD study in Liverpool University in UK. The use of ground-granulated plasma for a slab or GPDS as partial replacement of Portland's main. Now is widely used in Europe and other part of the country in the world. The advantage using this material, we have technical benefits, economic benefits, and also reduce CO2 emission, which is due to the properties of concrete, both fresh concrete and hardened concrete. For fresh concrete, the use of GPDS concrete can improve the workability of concrete, and also the GPDS can improve the strength of concrete, particularly measurements. Economic benefits for the GPDS and waste material. So using the GPDS, using the waste material, can take about economic benefits. Using the GPDS or ground-granulated plasma slag can reduce CO2 emission, can produce about 1 ton carbon dioxide as well. Okay. So the contribution of cement production to total of CO2 emission is about 5 to 7.5%. So using GPDS as partial replacement of, right? This advantage strength development.
And then the 3 of basics lectures focus on organic photovoltaic, and for the solar system, and the last presenter, the development of concrete. And now for question, please address your question.
Today, especially for the rector, for the give the chance to us to give a presentation like this. This is a good idea to make the atmosphere academic in our university. And then this the question for the 4 of you for the Newcastle University, because I think your research is a little bit similar. Maybe they have different, one from chemistry and the other from the physical, yeah. And because our phrase today is the electricity, especially for this building also, the problem is the electricity. So maybe the next we hope you can apply your research in this area, in this university, to solve our problem of this electricity in here. And then also, you have already done your research in the situation, complete situation. You have already in your laboratory, but now the real situation now, you come to your lab, but you become the what we say homesick, the second homesick, because you're from the outside with the full equipment in there, and then you come here, we have problem with the equipment. So I always play with the PCR, polymerase chain reaction in my university, but now I don't have tools in here, so that's the problem. And then the second question, special for the Mr. Gideon. I think it's very interesting presentation. But the problem now in Palu, especially, you know, every day, report of the meteorology office, we have already earthquake. You already mentioned about that in your research project. If you check, how about the earthquake? In your research project. I think, thank you very much for my question.
The question will be answered by Gideon. Thank you.
So we are doing nothing. So we come, but as Dharma said, we plan to make the center starting from zero. But we already have the main, what we think, how we can build these things. So and then our supervisor in Newcastle University very supportive for this condition. And then maybe they can help to find the people, manufacturer or the company that can support this kind of contributing this potential project or something like that. We didn't know, but we just think that thing can be happening. If there is some money, that's the problem. And I think university can, we don't have anything, but yes, we're starting from zero, and then we have the idea. That's a good start. And then I said before, I want to show you the picture about the other possibility to have this kind of producing electricity. Yes, so I want to show you here. As I said before, this is very potential for house, but I don't know, maybe this is very expensive to do that. But in Palu, raining is not really happen every day, or this is something like very hard. You can see, because now it's still cloudy, but sometimes it's very long time and then there's a rain and there's a cloud. So we have a place that have an area that's very shiny. So can we have this kind of technology, and so we can boil the water there. So near we can use the Sungai Palu as a water supply, and then we heat it. And then using this technology, and then we can produce electricity. Why not? So we can generate as a here. So we have the power to run the turbine and then run the generator to have the electricity. So I think this is very potential, but maybe it's very expensive. I don't know exactly how the cost or to have this. That's the question for me, and maybe my friend can answer.
About the explanation, actually we have already detected all of the equipment we have here. We know this is very basic, but we can do something here. We can start doing something, and with the help of the Center of Organic Electronics in Newcastle, we will develop together, and maybe in the first we will do optimization of the surface layer, and then we will fabricate the device in Newcastle. This is the first thing we will do. Thank you.
Already with your supervisor and the former university, we cannot do anything here, but with collaboration, you can do a lot of things. So in the future, this project can be developed with the collaboration with Newcastle University. And now let's move to the second question.
The temperature in Palu, I think about 30 degrees. And from my research, I found that even elevated the temperature degree only, the strength development of GDS will increase very high. So I think it's very suitable to follow. Because the standard temperature used, the strength of GDS component higher than plane to my future work. I will choose fly ash produced by PLTU Panama because fly ash and GPS are similar materials. It's okay?
Actually, the advent everyday power.
Yeah.
How about that advent gempa itu? Apa menjadi perhatian juga dalam
structure to resist earthquake load will be increased as well. Is that okay? Thank you.
Anything else? Somebody else? No? Finish? Alright then. Oh, yeah. Okay.
This presentation is good for us, but I critique this presentation because there are no maybe some leaflet or something like that for us before we discuss like this. If we have the leaflet or something brochure for you, all of you, I think it's this meeting will be better in this time. Okay, I think that is my critics. Okay.
And distributed all the pamphlet or the brochure to the people that may be interested in your message. This suggestion for them. One more time, let's give applause to all of them that present their research today. I have a lot of questions for them, but only one question to all of them. What they did in the lab until 2 o'clock maybe? They don't have to answer that. Then we invite all of them to the front that will receive the certificate of the appreciation from the Director of Tadulako University. Please welcome. Okay, instead of certificate, we have something to
I would like to say thank you very much for all presenter today, and I would like to give appreciation because even though it's for the first time presenting the start from the PhD project from the different university, UK and Australia. I believe that for the future, this culture academy try to bring to make all of alumni from abroad, particularly including from the Indonesian university. And the Lord, even though difficult to develop your PhD project from abroad, is you taking and transfer to Tadulako University. But don't forget, all of you is a PhD in philosophy of doctor, not doctor applied. So not to be doctor for the industry, not doctor for the plan out of the university, but how to transfer the scientific value from your PhD project. So if you try to compare between university abroad and Tadulako University, I think you start with the different age university. Tadulako
established 1981. And Newcastle University, I think 80, not 90. Liverpool, maybe 60, blah, blah, blah. But Turnberg University, 1981. Do not make comparison from the different situations, but how to bring this family for the future and how to transfer scientific family for your students. Even though your science, your knowledge can apply for this moment, but ideally for the future, from your science have been transferred to your student. Maybe your student can apply for the next time. Thank you very much for all participation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.